Hi, my name's Dr. Steve Simpson. I'm a medical doctor by background, but now work exclusively as a mind coach. I work with people who want to achieve more from life, who want to have more happiness with a lot less stress, and that's a pretty big bucket that probably most of us would fit into. Now, the problem that we have, Homo sapiens as a species, is we've got big brains, we've got a consciousness. And the problem with consciousness is that we think too much about things. We have the ability to think about things too much. And therefore we have a pretty large list of desires. Some we share with others, some are peculiar to us or to a group of people. And the kind of desires that people have is to have loving relationships, to have security, to go shopping, to gamble, to eat too much, to drink too much, and I could go on and on. But the one I'm going to talk about just as an example today is alcohol. When alcohol goes from a craving to an addiction, sooner or later that person is going to be ill. And when you talk to anybody who's addicted to anything, they are wonderful at confabulating stuff. They're wonderful at telling you that it's not a problem, that it's not going to affect their health, that everything's under control, that people that they work better when they've had a few drinks, that it's part of the social fabric of their life. And like I say, the list of things they can come up with which will get in the way of them giving up alcohol completely is a long one. So quite a lot of time is spent trying to persuade the client to look in a different direction, to break some of these self-limiting beliefs down, because unless they can think differently about their situation, nothing's going to change, or any change that does happen is going to be very temporary. So what are the things that get in the way? Well, the first thing is that we know that birds of a feather flock together. We know that positives attract each other and negatives repel. People who are positive attract themselves to other positive people, and people who are negative attract themselves to other people. So somebody who's alcohol dependent will have a lot of people in their life who share the same addiction that they have. And this group, this tribe, this informal tribe, will not like it when one of their members tries to make a big change, because it means they have to look in the mirror, and perhaps if this person is doing it, then so should they, and they may well not be ready for that big decision. So very often my advice to people is not to give up the company of these friends forever, if they are friends, but certainly while they go through the early phases of their treatment for their addiction. And the other thing we have to think about, if somebody's got a condition, an addictive condition, there's a phrase called secondary gain. Sometimes there's a secondary gain that this person has it. The secondary gain could be that it allows them to sleep well at night. It allows them to put some of their problems into a deeper part of their brain. And it's numbing the brain, really. It might be that it gives them relief from pain. They may have a pre-existing medical condition. There are all kinds of reasons which are going to be woven into the fabric of their belief system. And these need to be examined and maybe not banished, but looked at in a different light. Carry on doing the same and you'll get the same. People have two choices in this kind of situation. And bear in mind here that for any craving, for any addiction, it's not so much the addiction and the craving that's important, it's what led to it growing and becoming out of control, like a cancer. I mean, plenty of people like to have a glass of wine or a beer, and I don't imagine that in moderation it does them too much harm, if any. Plenty of people like to go shopping, but they don't spend more money than they can. Plenty of people like to have a bet on a football team, but it'll be an amount that they don't really care whether they win or lose. They're just doing it for the excitement. These are kind of on one end of the spectrum, and then the serious addictions on the other. And I've found in almost all cases that unless you are aware of the issues underneath that are giving rise to the craving, which grows out of control, then any therapy is going to be limited in its effect and maybe only temporary. So I look at it in two different ways. People can be reactive to their situation. People can be proactive to their situation. Now, what do I mean by that? Because it is quite an important difference. Well, when we react to a situation, something can happen to us. It can be anything that makes us feel bad, uncomfortable, disappointed, frustrated. The first response is to try and find something that you can blame this on, because generally speaking, the last person we ever blame is ourselves. So we can go back to an incident in the past. We can go back to somebody treating us unfairly and unfeelingly. And again, this is a very long list. And it's a very long list that won't get you anywhere. It might make you feel better for a little bit, for a few minutes, maybe for a day or two even, but it won't solve any problems. Now, being proactive means that you push away all of the layers that are around whatever issue it is that you're doing, and you confront the truth. You look in the mirror and you see the reality of the situation you're in, not in desperation, but in recognition of the fact that we all have a lot more resilience and courage than we give ourselves credit for, and that we're never given anything that we can't deal with. So the journey will be a long one, a tough one, but it will be by no means an impossible one. So that's an aspect of being proactive. Another example of being proactive in the first place is to seek help. Seek help from people who are close to you. Be honest to the people who are close to you. Seek therapy. Go to your doctor. Join a group. There are plenty of groups around. Alcoholics Anonymous is just one of them. People find their own niche. And pretty soon, when people have processed being proactive, got used to making decisions, got used to showing resilience, they start to get a warm feeling. They start to get a warm feeling about themselves because for once they're starting to feel that they're back in control, and people like to have control of themselves and of others, of course. So that is dealing with our cravings in a very simplified, superficial way, and I just chose the alcohol as an example. It could have been anything else. So the reward out there is a better life. We like doing things that are proactive. We like doing things that are positive. If we stay with positive people, then some of that rubs off on us, and bear in mind that the opposite is also true. So my wish to you is to be positive, be proactive, be on the front foot, accept reality for what it is, and continue with your dreams, happy, less stress, and occasionally smile. Thanks very much for watching. Goodbye.